Hey everyone, sorry I haven't been able to vlog very much. This is our freestyle daily for today. And I was just wanting to note the water package here is really expensive. This is why I usually just drink the water that they have on board. Because for 24 large bottles it's $44.95, and if you go to your local market, you can get them for like $3 to $4 in the US. But you can't carry that on here, so it's your choice to spend that much. It is around 7:30. Having a show. I decided to skip that tonight. So that is our day. Here we are in Estonia.
Good morning, folks.
Morning.
The weather forecast is 60.
There's all the buses. Buses lined up. So we are walking the town. But just like 15-20 minutes walk. Go to the ship. Came from the chips. Alright, here's the other side of the castle. Alright, wow, go here. Came through the gate. Up on the street side. Here's a big open area with buildings and that building. Big square, maybe for parties or something. And seating areas for restaurants. Look at that. Might be doing some kind of film. There's a police car. And here's the info sign. Here's a walking tour.
Going out at the same time, so I'm going to make a lot of noise. We have a free walking tour. We have a Tallinn National Park day trip, and we have Stevenson by this day trip. So I'm going to divide you into 3 groups. So everyone here for the Tallinn National Park day trip, please gather to this lovely girl.
We're gonna do a walking tour soon.
figure out who is here for day trips and stuff. So let's go. This way.
Movie star. This is how I start.
We're not going to start yet. We still have a few more minutes. Okay, guys, we're going to go a little bit that way. There's some flowers.
I'm guessing.
My name's Anne. I'm going to be your tour guide today. You're on Tallinn Free Tour if you for some reason don't know where you are. This is it, it's Tallinn Free Tour. The tour we're going to do today will last us around 2 hours, give or take 10 minutes. We'll see how it goes, depending on how fast we walk and how many questions you have and so on. We will cover the old town mostly because that's where things are. And I'll show you the most important sites of this city. And I will try to tell you a bit of historical things about it, why the things are the way they are, what's happened over time. I will try to not so much focus on architecture and art history. It is an interesting subject, but it's way too specific most of the time. So I'll try to give you a bit of context of how Estonian life has developed over time and what's happened and how an Estonian feels and thinks and is, and all of that in the duration of 2 hours. The tour is free, but tips are appreciated. You can ask anything at any time. I love questions because I love talking. And it is a free tour, so you are free to leave whenever you want to, but please let me know. So otherwise I'll be sad. Because in every group I have around 3 or 4 people and I don't start talking before they are there. And you don't know if you are one of those people. Today is a bit crowded over there because we do have a film set up all around Tallinn. Today they're shooting over there, so the tourist info has been turned into a currency exchange and they are banished to that tiny tent there right now. So if you are looking for the information about the city, there they are. Yeah, but before we start, I do want to know, where are you from? Who is from England? Yeah. Show hands. Hi, England. Germany. There's usually a bunch of German people. Where are they? Okay. Let's do other parts of Europe.
Ireland.
Ireland, all right. What about Sweden? Italy, okay. USA. Oh. Hi. Okay. Canada.
Thank you.
Hi. I have a special surprise for Canadians. I have a lovely little Canada pin here, which was given to me by an Australian in Ukraine. Why, you ask? I don't know. He felt like I need one. Okay, who is from Asia? Anywhere? Whereabouts?
Oh yeah, that's us.
Okay.
I look around, I was like, what? No, that's us.
Did I hear you correctly? Philippines? Okay. Australia? Okay, a few. New Zealand? No? Oh, hi! We don't belong to you. I am offended! And sad! But it's okay. Enjoy your time in Tallinn. Anyone from Africa? South America? Did I leave anything out? Now's your time. No? Okay. Who's in Tallinn for the first time? Oh, okay, that's everyone. That's no pressure on me. Yeah. Who's from a cruise ship? Yeah, once again, you're here for only like 6 hours, so I will be the only thing you're gonna see anyway, so yeah. High expectations. Okay, that's fine. I am from here. Not really, I am actually from a small town that is around 20 kilometers from Tallinn. The small town I am from has about 10,000 people, making it the 15th biggest town of Estonia. So size-wise, oh, let's do a quiz. Does anyone know how many people live in all of Estonia altogether? 1.3. I heard around 1.3 somewhere shouting. 1.3 million, yes, that's the correct answer. It's slightly less than 1.3 million, but we like to sum it up.
of course. Oftentimes, here's a hint, if someone says like, oh, do you talk about Estonian life and so on, if you say like, oh, there's only 1 million of you here, we will really quickly say it's 1.3. Everyone counts, it's such a small population. Size-wise, the territory of this place is roughly the same size as the Netherlands. Over there, they have like 17 million people. That's why it's most of the country is just a forest. Half of it is literally a forest. The other half is pretty empty as well, besides a few bigger places where people gather at, I guess. So if you are looking for, if you are looking to buy a farm, why not do it in Estonia? There's a bunch just lying around, costing nothing. Does anyone know how many people live in Tallinn? The biggest thing.
400,000.
In between those two numbers, it's slightly less than 450,000. Yeah. So Tallinn is the biggest thing we have. We have around 2,000 islands as well. If you want something to be proud of, so 2,000 islands. We're very happy with that. Latvia has 0. We speak Estonian. Can you guess what Estonian language resembles?
Finnish.
Yes, well done. It is so close to Finnish I can pretend to understand Finnish without actually knowing anything that's going on. I'm like, yeah. I will teach you one word in Estonian and then we'll actually start doing tour stuff. So, the most important word you need when you are in Estonia is of course how to say hello. When you go somewhere you say hello. If you want to say hello you have to say tere.
Tere.
Yes, and the longer the last E is in the end the happier you are. So like tere means that you're very happy. And if you go in somewhere you're like tere, everyone's gonna be like, oh, a foreigner. Oh, drunk. So we've got that covered. Let's walk a little bit. I do want to tell you about the church, but there's some trees in the way, so we're gonna go around the corner and start looking at stuff like tours should be. Everywhere in the world, the history of Estonia, but it is a very important thing for Estonian people. So I'll go through 10,000 years of history in 5 minutes and less, so just bear with me. Yes. Well, it all started around 10,000 years ago. That's when the last ice age ended here. The ice melted, the first people started living here. But I'm actually going to cheat because I'm skipping the next 9,000 years because nothing happened. There were small tribes, they had small wars with each other every now and again, but there was really, it's not much going on up until the 12th, 13th century or so. In the 12th, 13th century or so, something called the Northern Crusades happened. So Crusades are known for like, you go and conquer the Holy Land because it's the Holy Land, but at one point some Crusaders also thought, oh, there's the North, they have land, let's have a crusade. So we got conquered by German Crusaders and Denmark in the start of the 13th century. They came here, brought us Christianity because they had better swords. And at the same time they also conquered the land, so the area of Estonia in the 13th century started belonging to Denmark and Germany. Denmark owned the northern parts, Germany, well not Germany because Germany as a country didn't exist, but German Crusaders owned the southern parts of the country. They were getting along pretty well, but around 100 years later Denmark was bankrupt. They had a lot of internal issues, they didn't have enough money to get rid of those issues, so they opened up the world map. Looked at their estates and decided to pick the most pointless part of their empire, this place and sell it. So they sold the areas over here to the Germans, who then started owning everything in Estonia in the 14th century. This lasted for a few hundred years up until the 16th century. In the 16th century, this is the first time in Europe big empires had emerged with centralized rule. If you have a big empire, if you are the king of an empire, to prove that your empire is a good one, you try to conquer as much areas as you can, of course. So over this area over here, there was something called the Livonian War. In the Livonian War, we had 4 different contestants trying to own this place. Tsarist Russia tried to come in from the east, but they failed. Then Sweden came in from the north and took North Estonia. A thing called Polish Lithuania took South Estonia, and Denmark, they didn't have enough guns to conquer us. Well, guns didn't exist that much. But anyway, Denmark didn't have enough war things to conquer us, but they had a lot of money. So they decided to buy themselves back in. They buy the biggest island. So in the end of the 16th century, we are owned by 3 different kingdoms at the same time. We call it the Age of the 3 Kings to make it sound very epic. Bit of Game of Thrones vibe to it. And of course that's what they were doing. They were trying to still conquer everything and kick everyone else out. Sweden, by the start of the 17th century, manages with different contracts and marriages and wars and so on. They kick everyone else out. They own everything over here in the 17th century. We call that the Golden Swedish Age. It was not golden, but we just really like Sweden. So we're trying to make them like us back. Yeah, you did good. But the Golden Swedish Age ended in the start of the 18th century with a plague, a famine and a war at the same time. Over there is a church called the St. Nicholas Church. It was built in the 13th century, but don't be fooled by the name nor the looks. The St. Nicholas Church is neither a church nor is it very old. Well, it was built in the middle of the 13th century. It did work as a church for around 700 years, up until the Second World War. In the Second World War, in March 1944, we were under the Nazi German occupation, so the other big superpower, the Soviet Union, had an air raid. This air raid destroyed around 1/3 of Tallinn. It did not touch the old town, because in the old town the houses were made out of stone. So they aimed bombs at areas with a lot of wooden housing, so it would do a lot of damage. But this street was also bombed because there was a gathering place for German officials on this street. There was a certain pub that they would usually be frequenting at. So this street is the only street in the old town where there are no houses on one side, which is really uncommon because you try to build as densely as you can to fit a lot of houses inside the city wall. Because all of this was destroyed, and the church took a lot of damage as well. The spire was destroyed, the roof fell in and so on. So after this war was over, the locals of Tallinn, of course, wanted to rebuild the church because it's historically very important, but we were already under the Soviet Union. How do you rebuild a church in a country that does not like religion? It was an atheist country. It was very much against religion. So we went to Moscow and said we want to rebuild a church in Tallinn. Moscow said no. Have you heard of Siberia? There were a few talks going on, and finally Moscow agreed to fund rebuilding that church if it will open up as a museum of atheism. As a genius idea, Tallinn said, yeah, sure, let's do that. And they decided to take their time with the rebuilding to make sure it's not going to be opened up. So the rebuilding of the church took over 30 years. By the time it was finished, it was the 80s. The 80s was a lot more relaxed from the 50s, so it was not opened up as a museum of atheism, but it was turned into a museum of medieval artworks. So that's what I mean when I say it's not old, nor is it a church. It is technically not a church. It does not do anything religious. It is just a museum of medieval paintings and altars and silverware. So if you're interested in medieval arts, that's our best place to go to. Keep in mind though, we are not in Venice. We don't have vast quantities of things everywhere. We have small wooden sculptures that look very nice. Yeah, and as I said, it's not really, technically they did use the same techniques of building as they did in medieval times to make it authentic, but it has been rebuilt due to the bombing. That's it. By the way, if you have any questions at any time, just run up to me in the middle of walking or something, or, you know, we'll figure it out. So.